what is Lex and what did he do that's illegal? Early, what the hell?
Well, we're all getting old, man, and just punctuality comes with age, I'm not here to waste anybody's time, I've been drinking coffee and walking around the house for 30 minutes just waiting,
I do too. Like I literally just belted down, half a shot of really strong coffee just to clear
I just made 2 shots of espresso and put some almond milk over it and chugged it real quick.
Okay, almond milk? Wait a minute, man. We're supposed to be drinking, moonshine and...
Well, okay, look, I'm trying not to be the worst version of myself for this podcast right now. So...
We're not straight edge.
I mean, I get that. That's cool. I just, I'm good on a Sunday fun day, and I've already had about 4 or 5 bottomless mimosas. So...
There you go.
I'm good. I had that. I had some tacos and burritos. I had some tequila. Like, we're good. I needed that espresso in me. I need a little.
I always need to
kickstart my heart, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I drank. It's Keurig, but it's that Rev high caffeine stuff. And it's like Robusta beans, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. I've been hit with that, whatever that respiratory thing is, it knocked me on my ass.
Everywhere. It's awesome.
So I'm good for about an hour. I've been binge watching TV and going, my poor girlfriend, all I do is whine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you've been in a relationship a long time.
Huh?
Have you guys been in a relationship a long time?
A little over 3 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's used to it now. I mean, so.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? We become predictable. It's like we get up in the morning, I'm either going to complain about my back, my bladder, or my cold.
Sometimes it's all 3, You get the trifecta in there and it's just all 3 knocking me out at once.
Well, and thank you for what should we call it? Delicate aging with Clean and Sober Stoner.
Yeah. We're here. It's a new topic of discussion. We're actually not going to talk about music or anything. We're just going to talk about, taking care of yourself and purifying your life.
There you go.
Always possible.
I'll sign up for that. I think there's no one I want to get advice from more than the heavy underground on how to live a healthy lifestyle.
Especially how to take care of yourself properly. I mean, we're all into that.
As we get packed into sardine cans and stand for 6 hours and listen to music at 120 decibels without earplugs.
Blowing your brains out.
Right. Speaking of which, you're responsible for one of those damn things. So here's what people want to know. What is Lex and what did he do that's illegal? We want to know on Clean and Sober Stoner.
Lex is Lexington, Kentucky, and Legalize is everything that this town stands for is not cohesive to the heavy music underground. So everything we've had to do here to build a scene has been us banding together as bands and as friends and as people that play together to help build a community. And we've had to build our own community.
It's not just 420. It's pretty much lifestyle and
it's the whole lifestyle. It's just on 420 is every day of the year. There's 2 420s each 24-hour cycle. Like, I mean, it's like moons. It's always there if you look up and can find it.
It's always 420 somewhere, right?
So last year when we did it, it just happened that the Saturday was on 420, and I was like, well, stars aligned for the first year. Let's do I've been talking to band members and some friends, my partner Josh Flowers that helps me put the event on, about wanting to do Legalize, and they just kept pushing. They're like, do it. Like, if anybody's going to pull this off, it's going to be you. And I got hit up by JB from Maryland Doomfest, and Crop was playing that and really inspired by what he's doing and how he's brought a scene together. And I was like, I can do it here and I want to do it here. And I did it the first year. We did it. It went over well. It went over swimmingly especially for, the expectations that would come out of it. We put 155 people in a room that holds 155 people. And that's not including bands and other people. The first year sold out. And we look for this year to also do it when it's back at Alsbar again this year. That's in Lexington, where I'm from. And there's a good music scene in Kentucky right now. There's a real good regional scene. And then I got lucky enough to get Horse Burner to come through, Low Pain's coming through. I got Tipple the Fuzzwitch, Astronaut, Rebreather, Friendship Commanders, and then of course my band Crops playing. And then She, Swamp Hawk. I got all the homies all these people that have helped us play shows, and we've helped them play shows, just all building everything together. And that's really what Legalize is, being able to work together to make something better for everyone.
Okay. You just threw, like there's so many bands in here that are hot button for me.
Yeah.
And I want to hold off a little bit. Can you tell me a little bit more about the first year? Like, who did you have?
So first year, we had Howling Giant come in from Nashville.
How'd you get Howling Giant? What the hell?
It was the biggest fluke, because like I'd hit their booking agent up and he's like, they're not available.
Yeah.
And like,
it's Howling Giant.
Well, and they're just not available. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I'll swim back to this later. So I paid attention. They just finished a European tour. And then I think I'm doing this in the right order, but it was like they did a European tour and then a tour with the Obsessed. And I think they were about to get off tour with the Obsessed. And I looked at their dates and I'm like, they don't have anything for 420. I don't see any announcements. We're getting like, and it was in crunch time when I got them. It was like a month before the festival. Like the festival was already like, it was good. It was great, but it's like, I really wanted Howling Giant to play. And it just, the stars aligned and they were able to make it happen and we were able to make it happen and they showed up. And I mean, I love Howling Giant. I mean, I've got records on my wall behind me. I love Howling Giant. Not only are they one of the best bands in the scene, they are the sweetest human beings on the face of the planet. And that combination is almost dirty to have in a scene of great musicians, in a scene of great bands, because people are going to love you and people are going to love your music. And if you got both of those combinations, man, you're going to keep pushing as far as they want to take that band. There's no ceiling for what Howling can do.
I couldn't agree more. I think I've been sticking my neck out there. It's just a matter of time before a band crosses over. Into more mainstream.
We joke about that all the time. There's such a big scene in, like, I guess stoner rock or doom or whatever genre you want to call it, sludge metal, grunge, or dad rock, whatever label you want to put on. But like all the bands are so different. And really it's heavy rock bands coming together that have a different sound that all work together. And, all genres aside, we're just heavy rock bands, man, trying to have fun, live our dreams, what dreams we have of it, what we want to do with it, and just keep pushing forward. And that Howling's the best example of that, because those dudes keep every year doing something cooler and better and bigger. And then on the first year, we had a lot of regional bands. We had the guys in She. Have you heard the band She from Louisville? Yeah. They're awesome. And they're sweethearts too. They're another one of those bands that's I play in Crop. I've said that before. But they're a band that's helped our band out tremendously, and being able to break through and play like Louisville and then getting them to come down. And we're only 45 minutes to an hour apart, or maybe an hour and a half, depending on what part of the cities you're driving to. But it's that break between music scenes can be so deafening. And like, you want to come here and play, but you don't know anybody, or we want to go there and play, or we want to go to Cincinnati, or we want to go even further out and go to Pittsburgh, or we want to go to. But we've been lucky with all the Doom community making all these friends, our friends in like Temple the Fuzzwitch and Astronaut have been so helpful with us and so gracious to take us out on runs with them and do stuff like that. So it's really cool how this community builds each other up and it's not breaking each other down, because you get in a lot of other music scenes and it's not like that at all.
What band are you with?
I play in a band called Crop.
Jesus Christ, I didn't know you were with Crop.
Yeah, I play in Crop.
I literally had no idea you were with Crop.
Yeah, I play in Crop.
I mean, it's like I know I say this a lot, but Crop has popped up like in my feed and in my discussions with people like all over the place lately. So
we've been a band.
I would have had 2 shots of espresso if I knew you were with Crop.
Yeah, we're wild and crazy boys. We've been together we got together right before COVID, and a lot of bands have this story right now. We got together right before COVID, and none of us really live with close to family members. Like 3 of us are married, and the singer's just a wild bartender guy. And we didn't really have a lot of like grandmas or grandpas around us. So during COVID, we're like, if we just make this our bubble, we can keep playing music. Like, and so we didn't hang out with other people. We just focused on writing an album that we thought we were never going to be able to let anybody listen to. We recorded it during COVID when everything was shut down. Like, we were just wide-eyed, ready to write some music, and it gave us the opportunity to just slow down and really focus on writing that first album. And when we came out of it, we just started playing shows, and we keep getting asked to play shows and asked to go on runs and tours with other bands. And I'm not saying no, like, we got some cool stuff coming up this year. Like, obviously I'm doing Legalize, but we've got other festivals that aren't announced yet. That's, next week after. I think we got some cool information coming out. But yeah, man, Crop's definitely, I'm glad to hear when people hear positive things back. It's always nice.
Oh yeah. It's like the Crop has popped up on like Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
And, when the Doom charts, when we get together for our, monthly cabal, we cast our spells and do our stuff. Yeah. Crop definitely comes up. I'm embarrassed that I had no idea I could slap Desert Bloom PR for not letting me know.
Yeah, it's all right.
So this time you went with a PR company building out Legalize.
I just wanted to get the word out a little more. Obviously, it put me here talking with you, which is something I've wanted to do for a bit. You're a big name in the community. You do a lot of good work. I've seen some videos, and you're somebody I've wanted to talk to.
Thank you.
Talk to person. So sometimes I'm glad I get to meet people over the internet first, but sometimes I just like I really like meeting you up front, because
it's so weird.
It's like I'm a lot normally.
When I went to Desert Planet Rock weekend in Vegas, I knew so many of those people, online, but when I got there, it was just a whole different level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We had so we're on Crop's on a label called Third House Communications. And I think two of the guys that represent Third House went out to Planet Desert, and they said they had a blast. Like, that
was the best show I've ever.
Absolute blast out there.
There's no show that comes close in my experience. Except for, of course, Legalize Lex.
But you have a few festivals out there that are worth their weight in salt. But
you seem to be putting together the same vibe.
I try to. I'm trying to keep a vibe. Like, the first year went so. I mean, I've never been to a Doom show where people crowd surf, and we had like dudes.
I've never.
Stuff. Like, I've been to not so. Like, Al's Bar is one of those places. Like, we have shows and people get into it, but it's a lot of just like, it's old guys headbanging, and the energy and the vibe. Yeah, just like that, it popped off, and we had, like, I even made the first year 18 plus. I think I had one person that was under 21 paying to get in, and they thought it was going to be a reggae festival for some reason because it was on 20. My dogs are being crazy right now. But yeah,
we're a very dog friendly show, by the way. Gypsy,
he'll come always over at some point.
Yeah, Gypsy always has her dogs. Freya, and so we need dogs. It's good luck.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love my dogs.
Okay. So crowd surfing, what band inspired the crowd surfing?
Actually, we're crowd surfing during Crow.
Right on.
Yeah. And I was just like, I'm on stage playing, and like, I'm a little goofy when I get on stage. I really like Gene Simmons a lot, and I like the licking the bass and like, just like getting into the moment and being there, playing music, having a good time, putting on a show. And yeah, we had a guy like step up on stage and just like kind of jump back and hit and crowd surfed all the way to the back of the room. And I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, this is the coolest freaking thing ever. Like, it's not gonna get better than this, man. Because like, anytime we play, I don't care if we're playing to 5 people or we're playing to 500 people. I'm having the best time on stage. Like, I'm just like, well, that's what I'm there for. Like, I say all the work in being a musician, and that goes to everything people don't see outside of just writing, but like, talking to people on the internet or getting your band out there, promoting, and passing out handbills to people and making sure that the word's out, and designing merch, buying merch, like all the stuff that goes in with being a band. To me, like, I've found that I like it over time, but nothing beats that 30 minutes you're on stage. And you do all of that work for that 30-minute just output of just like all your emotions, everything's there, everything's ready to go. And yeah, man, there's nothing better. I mean, there's nothing better. And there's nothing better. The only thing that comes close second is watching my homies do it. and them doing the same exact thing that you love to do. And everybody has that vibe with each other. It's thumbs up all the way. It's good time.
It sounds a lot like the Raleigh scene that we have down here, where we've got a few local legends from a small band called Corrosion of Conformity.
It's small. I got a button somewhere. I think I've heard of a couple of songs by those guys.
Yeah, one or two. You know, they kind of You know,
I like the Blind album a whole lot. And then, I mean, who doesn't like Corrosion of Conformity? I mean, come on.
I know.
They're heroes. But I've always said I'll know I've made it when Pepper Keenan looks at me and tells me my band sucks.
Oh, there you go.
Like that's the moment. That's the moment I quit. I go home. You can bury me. I'm in the casket. I just want Pepper Keenan to look at me and be like, dude, your band fucking sucks. And I'm just like, yes, you've heard it. That's all that matters.
I've now made it. I've made it. Okay. So before we go too off the rails, I'm sorry. With the headliner. Here's the thing that when I look at your bill for Legalize Lex, is I go down to the bottom of the card, right?
Yeah.
And I see Veil Case. Veil Case could be an opener. I mean, they could be the closing act.
That's the thing with the lineup is it's so hard for me to put bands in any order.
But the ones that have me the most intrigued, and they're good friends of mine on TikTok. I don't think I've actually talked to them except for, and I don't do TikTok much.
Yeah, I don't.
Friendship Commanders are like the most.
Friendship Commanders.
I love their vibe. I love their name. I love their attitude. Bring it down. Bring it down. Let's show the people what they're missing if they don't have Friendship Commanders.
Oh my gosh. And they're one of those bands. So we got to play with them. This is it. This is good. It's good stuff. I think the album is actually, I think it's blue. I don't want to pull it out. I'm going to pull that out they're one of those bands. So I think Crop got to open for them, and it was like them and Cadabra and Hippie Death Cult.
Oh my God.
And
are you serious?
The whole show was insane. It was such a good time. There was actually a tattoo shop inside the venue we played at. So I wound up getting 666 tattooed on my ass, like during the show. Like I had people like in there, like there's a camera girl and they're taking band promos of us. Like I posted one of Crop, and it's just like me on a thing with my ass out, getting 666 tattooed on my ass, which my parents love, by the way.
Oh, nothing screams the pride of motherhood more than seeing their kid get 666 tattooed. Oh yeah,
I mean, it's a lifestyle, man. It's not a choice. Like we're all here. Friendship Commanders, like I'd heard a couple of their songs and kind of like seen some reels and stuff. And I had some friends be like, man, you got to check this band out. You got to check this band out. I was like, I think we're playing with them in like a month, man. And I saw them and I was just floored, dude. Yeah. Like, I mean, Buick's voice is amazing. And it's amazing live. And she does not miss a note. And she's sitting there playing some crazy, like sludgy guitar riffs while doing it. And I mean, their drummer kills. Oh, they're just such a good band. And they're such a tight unit, like together as a band. And I mean, and her songwriting's great. Like, I mean, I don't understand that.
I don't understand why a band like this isn't. They could easily do pop. I think you would agree. No, yeah. They could easily be shooting for the Spotify playlist.
Even with the songs they're writing, they got a new album coming out. I think they just got done recording a new thing. I think they got a new album coming out. I'm not sure with who. I don't. I just know I've seen videos of them on Facebook and recording and stuff. So, I mean, who knows with this next album what they do. I mean, because they're one of those bands like you're talking about break through. They could break through. I mean, there's so many bands in this scene right now that just have such mass appeal, and they're just not getting the recognition because they're not walking on stage with a MacBook pushing play. Like, I mean, it's way easier to have a dude or a lady or a person or whatever walk up on stage and push play and belt out with their voice or rap over something. I mean, you're paying one person, you're not paying five, you're not paying two,
Well, this is why I think the scene is destined to break through commercially. Because I don't know if anybody's noticed, people are getting tired of the AI being shoved down their throats.
Yeah. Well, people are tired of fake music. They want emotion again.
It's the young people. The younger people are the ones that, at least from what I've seen,
for it, man.
They want the real thing.
Yeah, because they've grown up with everything being shoved at them, and then they look back to like, the 90s right now. They're looking back at the 90s and they're listening to like these grunge bands and these like post-punk bands and these post-hardcore bands and like all this scene and all this music and even like old doom and sludge stuff like from that time frame. And they're looking back at this and they're like, why was music so good then? It's like, it wasn't regulated. And there's still plenty of music that's not regulated by a corporate overhead saying it's got to sound like this. You just got to find it, man. And if you're not on Bandcamp, you're dumb. Like, if you're not actively on Bandcamp, finding new music, you have no right to tell me there's no good music out there if you don't have a Bandcamp account. Like, because I'm sent probably, we'll say minimum 50 suggestions a week of what to listen to. And out of that, man, at least 5 to 10 things are killer. Like,
yeah.
And it's all hit and miss. Sometimes it's hot garbage, but dude, if you were willing to weed through some songs, like, I mean, you're going to find some bands that just blow your mind. And like, I mean, that gets you back to like, one of the smaller bands on Legalize, Sympathy Jar. They're kind of like a shoegazy doom. They got a hum kind of vibe to them. Hum, Failure, bands like that. And they're a local band from Lexington, and they're just dudes that have jobs and they play and like they kill, they slay live.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm absolutely sold. Sympathy Jar, right?
Yeah, Sympathy Jar. They're really good, and they're just they're out playing really good rock music, man. And that was one of the bands there. I think they're they're one of the opening bands for the Saturday, but even coming out the gate with a band that just slays out the gate, like, and then you follow them up with a Velcast or you follow them up with a She or somebody like that. And this all day long, it's just good music. You're berated by good music all day. If you're into the genre, like the first 8 bands, I run 2 stages. So it's back and forth. So every 30 minutes, there's a new band.
2 stages in the 155 person bar.
So while Legalize can hold a little bit more technically than what the bar will hold, is we utilize an outside space as well. So they've got a beer garden kind of area that they've got a corner stage set up on.
Like Desert Fest, New York, where I saw.
So like there's a smaller stage and and the big stage isn't a big stage. It's probably like 20 feet wide by 10 feet deep. That's
a huge, sorry, if you're playing in bars, that's huge. I've been in bands where the stage literally is a 5x5 platform.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, there's room. And then like, even in that room, like we run a lot of gear. I mean, it's dumb. Like I run 2 810 bass cabs. We'll have 2 full stacks. We have drums set up outside. We're running an Emperor 612s and another 810. Like, I mean, it's like all the backline is like, it's good stuff. Like it's like, like bands that hit me up, like, we don't really like to use backline. And I'm like, I'm going to send you a list of what we got. And they're just like, oh, that's exactly what we play. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like,
okay. So you're smart. You're running backline and the same drum set for each.
So I'll have a few drummers that want to run their own drum set. Typically what happens with that is it's always the same, like really nice Ludwig drum set. And one of the drummers is like, hey guys, will you just like the 3 of us use mine? Like, or if we got to do drum changeovers, we have time to knock out some drum changeovers real quick. It's not a big deal. But as far as like cab backline, it just stays. You can utilize it. If you've got to bring extra stuff, that's fine. Like we'll make it work. I'm not telling anybody a harsh no. Like if you've got this certain combo amp you have to use because it's got this reverb or something, spring reverb, and you just have to have that for your tone.
Or it's an old 1985 PD,
whatever. And that's totally
there's nothing else that
bring it. We'll put a mic on it and we're gonna rock it out. Like it's fine. But for the most part, most bands are traveling with 6505s, or they're traveling with like, some sort of orange head or some boutique something. As long as you got cabs they can plug it into, like it's going to be fine.
You got to send me video of this. I need pictures of the backline. Who else, before I get to the main headliners, who else? So Sympathy Jar, we want to pay attention to. Who are other newer bands that you're helping break?
Have you heard of Radian yet?
No.
So Radian's from, I want to say Akron. I could be wrong.
Okay, Ohio, respect.
And there's some Northern Ohio boys, and they kill, man. Like we've been lucky enough. I think we played with them either 2 or 3 times up in Ohio. And I mean, even like, sometimes you're out on the road and you need a Wednesday and you're just like, man, I know it's not like, it's a Tuesday, it's a Wednesday. We're in wherever. Like, I'm not asking for the world. I just need a show to get through to the next day. And they're always one of those bands we show up and play with, and it's a great time. There's some people there. Like, some people are buying merch. We're all drinking. We're having a good time. And they're one of those bands that, like, I was just like, I want to bring you to Lexington, but I want to bring you to Lexington right. Like, I want you guys to be able to get the treatment. But they're one of the bands that I was adamant about having this year. Like, I got to have Radiant. And then, got my friends in We Demon. We Demon just released a new album. And they're awesome guys.
It's another album that keeps popping up, is We Demon.
Up there.
No way. It's like you have, so what? You have all the albums from all the bands. You just.
I didn't strategically do that.
Well, whatever.
And it's not all of them. I mean, I got 10 Ton Slug up there. I got a couple other things that aren't on the festival, like Mother of Graves. But for the most part, anything that I had that was festival related, I was that'd be a good little backdrop for it, Yeah. And then, like I said, I talked about She earlier. She's a really good band. If you like Astronaut and you like Weed Eater and you like Bongzilla, She is so far up your alley that, and I think there's She Louisville on the Insta hashtagrams or whatever. I think they're like She Louisville maybe, but I mean, they're just so good. Swamp Hawk is another Lexington band that's super talented dudes. Some of the heaviest riffs you've ever heard in your life. I can't compare them to anybody because they're just their own thing. They kind of got a Torch vibe at times because they do that like trodden down riff Z tune, like just weird. Like, it's just so heavy and soul crushing. And then Josh Flowers, my partner in Legalize, he plays in Swamp Hawk.
Okay. I need to know, what in the hell does Star Viper sound like?
Star Vipers. So every year, like from the first year, the first year I had a band called Period Sex play. And they were like this really noisy 2-piece. Like, the dude walked out on stage, he's like, "We're Period Sex, put a towel down." And just like, they just started playing. Like,
I love our scene. We're so subtle.
Yeah. And I was just like, so Star Viper is, man, they're like this party rock. They've kind of got this like fast Motorhead meets Rob Zombie kind of thing going on. And the dudes are from Pittsburgh, and they're wild, man. They're some wild and crazy boys as far as the songs they write. And their vocalist just like his scream is awesome. Like, awesome, but their music's so much different than everything else. But they also, like, it's like every other band, everybody's different,
Mm-hmm.
So they fit, but they were one of those bands that I was just like, I want to throw an oddball on here. And I'm gonna see if they want to do it. And then Huxley hit me back, and he was just like, "Yeah, man, we want to fucking play." Like, "Yeah, we'll do it." And but yeah, they're like, it's hard to describe their sound other than like they're like party metal. But they're cool. I think they'll be a good vibe because like a lot of stuff's so slow that it's nice to have a band that picks you back up for a minute.
Oh, hell yeah.
Or slows back down,
you need something. So you need that ginger between servings of sushi is what I was saying. I need that palate cleanse. Yeah. Okay, Rebreather's another band that has so much respect in the scene.
We've played with them a couple of times, and they were the same. They're in that Northern Ohio. I think they're Youngstown, if I'm not mistaken. And they just like, Crop was able to play with them and Weed Eater in Louisville at a bar that legally held like maybe 86 people. And I think they sold 100 tickets. So they just crammed people in this room, and it was insane to see Weed Eater on it's such a small room because the room just like was on fire the whole night. And like we play, and then Rebreather plays, and like, dude, I'd already seen them play, but every time they play, they just blow my mind, man. Like they're so heavy and they're so good, but they're so good at that like quiet, calm to heavy stuff. And
it's a perfect name for a band.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely perfect name.
Okay. But then you have the heavy hitters here. And then I want to emphasize, this is a stacked lineup that you get Astronaut, one of the hottest bands from last year.
Astronaut's been one of those bands that like, we as Crop met them, and we met them online through like pedal groups and stuff like that. And we kind of met them and we just levitated towards each other. And it's been one of those things like, Rob's a real good dude. He works with Foul Sounds, and, he's giving me some pedals to try out and stuff like that. And like they took
on bass.
They took us out on, it was them that hit us up originally. And like, we were going on a run with them. And then like, Temple the Fuzz Witch wound up being on the run as well. And it's just like, oh my God, like, how are we getting asked to do this stuff with these bands that are so much bigger than us, But then we play and we show up and we play and like we're all peers and we're all having a good time,
Well, I don't know how to break this to you, but you're not that far off. I mean, that's the cool thing about the heavy underground. The difference between here and here, unless we're talking like King Buffalo, Castel Rat, and Elder.
Castel Rat going up out of nowhere, man. I love that. I love seeing bands pop up. And I don't want to say nowhere because I know they put the work in. They did an album.
Oh, man.
Like they probably got years into this project and they're finally seeing it. But man, over the past year, they have just like that Kickstarter they did or whatever it was. Like, I mean, that was $139,000 or something.
The second most ever raised by a heavy metal band on Kickstarter.
Gosh, dude.
So
like
I saw them at. I saw them at.
That's such a career up. That's just, and I know they got a lot of money invested into it. Recording's not cheap. I know personally recording's not cheap. And especially most bands are paying for all that on their own. They're paying to put their records out. They're paying for their merch.
Yeah.
Like, if you see a band live, go buy something from them because, dude, they're broke. They're broke. They're broke. They're waiting for a paycheck to come Friday from their real job.
When I saw Solace, they were like, hey, please buy some merch. We want to get back home to New Jersey.
Yeah.
I don't think they were kidding, right?
No, they're not. They're not kidding.
I get to see
if they need a floor to crash on or some shit, like a lot of that goes a real long way when you're out on the road for like days and days.
Yeah.
I
think right now Iris is staying at Blake Herrera's house.
Yeah.
They're on tour with, I want to say with Fate Tooth.
Yeah.
Back to Castel Rat, I'm seeing them Saturday at this small place called Chapel of Bones in Raleigh. And I finally get,
Is it sold out yet?
I don't think so.
Because
I don't
shows on this tour. They're selling out shows.
They're selling out like big show. This is Chapel of Bones is one of those 150 people. I haven't been there yet.
I mean, hell, but a band for a band to sell out 150 cap room, and then the next night, like almost double sell the next, like what, or not double sell, but like to continue to do, like, yeah, dude, that's freaking awesome, man.
Oh yeah, they're selling out 500-600.
Everybody like people get so caught up on, oh well, they're only making money because of this or that. It's like, well, good for them. They found their niche, man. But
you saw my interview with John Gist.
Like, just stop hating on stuff that's good for people. Like, like if a band eats, everybody eats. Like they have friends, they have homies they want to take on tour with them. Like if they do well, other bands are going to do well because of that. We're not fighting each other for this stuff. Like there's plenty of, like, you don't like just one band. You like a lot of bands.
Right.
You probably like so many bands, it's ridiculous. Everybody likes that many bands. There's room for them to like your band also.
I couldn't agree more.
Like, it's insane to me how competitive some people get. And it's just like, we're going to struggle if you're not.
Our scene, thank God, is a little different than that.
Yeah, for sure.
But
for sure.
But the thing about Castel Rat, I also finally get to see Crystal Spiders, who's one of the bigger bands from Raleigh.
I've got them coming through Lexington. It's not announced yet, but yeah, I booked for Al's Bar that Legalizes that. I booked there also.
Okay.
So if there's bands that like need dates out there, if you're listening to this, you need dates. I think it's alsbarbooking@gmail.com. I can't promise you the
Careful,
world.
at least 20 people are going to watch this all the way through. So, you know.
So, I mean, if you're out there, but yeah, I got Crystal Spiders coming through. I got Bonehawk coming through. I mean, I'm doing other stuff besides Legalize, but Legalize is my baby. It's it's the thing that I put so much work into for hoping that it breaks even at the end of it. So, and it has. So it's nice.
Temple of the Fuzz Witch.
I love Temple of the Fuzz Witch.
Goddamn.
I love them boys so much, and they're such nice guys, and their music's so heavy and so brutal, and so like decay, and it just like it just punches you. If you listen to Temple and you don't like it, you need to like go like take a break and listen to it again, because there's something wrong with you that day. Like they're just one of those bands, and they're so good live. I mean, like I said, Prop's been lucky to play with them a few times, and every time is just a treat to see them play. Like every time we've got to share the stage with them has been great, and they've definitely helped us out. And if I could ever repay it, helping, like, I mean, they're coming to Legalize. Like, I mean, just anything, I would do anything for those guys. They can crash on my couch anytime, any day, anywhere. They don't even have to play in Lexington that night. They could be driving through and hit me up, and I'm just like, yeah, I mean, I
got to be honest, I'm a little surprised at how they hit, and they hit hard with their last album. I'm personally not into the Blackened stuff all that much.
Yeah.
But I know Blake Carrera, who writes for us, he felt that they single-handedly saved the heavy underground.
Yeah.
And that album popped so hard, and it brought in, you know, the Mizmor audience, the Thou audience. It like, Temple just crosses over so many different places.
They cross that like that Blackened line so well, and they still have those slow like riff parts. They still have that fast stuff. There's something for everybody in their music. Like, and even if you don't like, I don't like blast beats, be like, dude, turn to the next song,
or wait 10 seconds for the blast beats to end
because it's about to go away. Or if those are the only parts you like, just keep listening because there's plenty of them. Like,
and I think that's why a band like Temple is so important, because, you know, they help the scene evolve. And there's other bands I'd put in there along with King Bastard. They do some of the black and more progressive stuff. But Horseburner, what the hell? Like, Horseburner is seriously next level.
Horseburner is, their songwriting is next level. Their musicianship's next level.
Yeah.
They're another band of the sweetest guys in the world. Crop's gotten lucky playing with them on multiple different festivals, multiple different shows. We've done runs with them. We've played in rooms that are packed out. We've played in rooms together that nobody showed up. And every time we're around them, it's just like, there's a photo of us and them at like Buc-ee's or something, and the Beaver was there, and we're all just like posing and mean mugging in front of Buc-ee, and that just sets the tone for like those guys and the relationship we have with them, because no matter what happens, it's always the funnest time, and most of the time it's the funnest time with a crowd there also, and it's great. But like, just I love those guys' commitment. I love the fact, I mean, what they did with Black Tusk last year, like, it's insane. That's stupid big. Like, quit my job and go do that for a month and come back and find something else. Like, Jesus, that's awesome.
You sold me. So, what are the dates for Legalize Lex?
You got April 18th and 19th this year.
Okay.
And we went with that because 420 is on a Sunday. A Sunday's a hard sell for a festival. My idea with it, though, was the 19th is Bicycle Day. Are you familiar with Bicycle Day?
I don't know anything about Lexington.
So I don't know the guy's name. I don't know the full story, but it's something about like the dude who invented acid, popped acid.
Okay, out
ride.
Okay.
So I feel like the 19th still has that like that psychedelic stoner vibe to it as well, you know? Next year I'm gonna have to come up with another story because it's probably on the 15th or something. I don't know yet. I've not looked that far.
Okay, is that true? Is that true that there's a bicycle day for trippers?
Yeah, you can look this up. Like, you can Google it right now.
I'm supposed to know this shit. I'm a goddamn counselor.
Yeah. I don't remember the guy's name. He's really famous in the hallucinogens world.
You're not talking about Owsley or Timothy Leary, are you?
No, I don't know. It's not Leary, and it's not Crowley, and it's not Robert Anton Wilson or any of those guys.
Oh, I'll find it. It was Albert Hoffman.
Yeah, there you go. And he tripped and went on a bicycle ride. So the 19th is still like, I mean, you get into the psych rock side, you get into King Buffalo. I mean, it's all the same stuff, dude. Like,
I'm looking this up, Bicycle Day. I can't believe all these years. Oh yeah, it's right here. It pops up like first go. Bicycle Day, psychedelic holiday.
So you left off a band. Did you have the old flyer? Or are you waiting to talk about them?
Who did I leave off?
We also have Lopan playing this year.
Oh God. Yeah, I have the old flyer. So Lopan, bucket list band for me.
Going through it, I was like, he might have left them off because they've got an album coming out like what, April 1st?
Yeah.
And it's already like, it's already a contender for the best album of the year. Like Crop's got an album coming out in June, on June 12th. And I'm like, why are we going to release an album the same year as Witchcraft and Lopan? Like, can we just pack it up and release that next year?
No, you have to. Like, Lopan is one of those, I saw them at Desert Fest, New York, too. I have never seen a bass player more pissed off than Scott Thompson. He had to carry his bass amp through the crowd to the back.
Oh, yeah.
The St. Vitus up in, but I saw Lopan, and bucket list band for me. They're just Ohio legends.
Yeah.
I have no idea why they're not bigger than what they are.
It's one of those bands that can break through. I mean, that dude's vocals,
he's crazy.
Kills so much, man. And like
that whole band is,
they got nothing but bangers out there. But they were my Howling this year. They got announced after the lineup came out, and I had some kind of workarounds, and I had a few bands that were waiting to hear from, and everything kind of fell through, and it was a weird day. Everything just kind of fell apart, and I was like, all right, cool, we're just gonna run with the lineup. It's fine, it's still a banger lineup. I was like, I wanted the one more band, and Lopan's drummer hit me up out of the blue and was like, hey man, like we'd like to play with Crop sometime. I saw you did like that Legalize festival, and just like hit me up, and I'm like, dude, do you guys want to play?
Come on,
like, I literally need one more band to fill this out so the time slots work. And he was like, let me talk to the guys. And like 20 minutes later, he's like, we're all in. I'm just like,
what day and time is Lopan playing?
They're playing the Saturday. I don't have the times. They're announced. They're on the event, but I don't have them in front of me. So I'm not quite sure what time they actually play. They're before Horseburner and after Temple, or after Rebreather. So
God.
I was playing the front.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around the triple shot of those bands, one after the other. Jesus.
Yeah. So I think the lineup for Saturday for the last couple bands is like Friendship Commanders is headlining the outside stage. Then it's Crop, and then it's Rebreather, Lopan, Horseburner, and that's just Saturday. And then Friday it's like Weed Demon, Swamp Hop, Astronaut, Temple, the Fuzz Witch. And it's just an assault. And I mean, it's
how many tickets are left? Like, how close are you? People got to know how much time do they have to get tickets? Are you sold out yet?
It's not sold out yet. So I have pre-sales available. We are selling through the pre-sales. I will have at the door also. I'm not selling it out pre-sales, because there's going to be some people that just want to show up. So, and
what the hell? I've never heard that.
Yeah.
That's serious.
I want it to be to where if the people from out of town want to travel in, they can get a ticket. They know they're getting into both days. And then I want it to be that random cook that doesn't know to have the Saturday night off, and he walks into work and it's slow and he gets to leave. He gets to walk up and get a ticket.
Yeah, he sees the line outside and goes, what's this? He sees the leather jackets and the battleness.
Or he's looked at that flyer in the bathroom, because I've got posters all around Lexington and Louisville. He's looked at that poster in the bathroom and he's like, I'm calling this sick that day. Like, screw this, And I as much as I wanted to sell it out pre-sales, I like the idea of having some tickets at the door available. So if I've got 100 pre-sales, there's 50 tickets at the door. Now, once that hits, it's done. Once that hits, it's game over within reason.
Okay. So it sounds to me like you're already like, what are your plans for 3?
I can't talk about 3 yet.
Come on.
I got some bands I really want, like ideal world. Like if I could get spotlights next year, that's one of the bands I want. I've wanted ASG since I started it, but like they're just hard to nab down. I would love an Obsessed or a Weed Eater, but you start doing that, I need to get a bigger venue. And the reason is I would want I would want a green room, and I'd want some other stuff for these bands to have so they can do their thing. whatever they need to do. Some of these guys are wild and crazy. So especially get with Weed Eater. We played with Weed Eater a couple times, and man, I was sitting there drinking. I was talking to Dixie. I'm sitting there and I'm drinking. I'm like, hey man, I gotta go refill my drink. He's like, what are you drinking? I'm drinking bourbon and ginger. He's like, yeah. He's like, I got a cooler over there. Here's
okay, Dixie. There's somebody I don't take drinking advice from.